Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Solomon Patray, and today I'll be speaking about my first hack part two. Here in this scan, using Nmap scan, I was scanning for open ports, and I type in the IP address in the range of 0 to 24. And as you can see, after running it, I got a lot of open ports under that IP address. I then use an Nmap scan, switch piece, switch A, using the IP address from the cartridge machine, the 192.168.56.110. And again, I have these open ports, as you can see in this slide, and you can see that it's from the cartridge machine. This next slide, to get more information from the target, type in this command ms console, and that's to start the Metasploit software. And as you can see from the software, it shows my IP address, the IRA host, 192.168.56.110. And I also see Samba 2.2.18. In this slide, I took the Samba 2.2.18 and Google it to get a remote code execution. And then I chose the raw file, and I copied these codes into the Nmap command line and copy it. And it shows Samba again 2.2.18. Here I'm able to type in 10.1c, as you can see from the scan, trying to enter the kill trip, trying to hack into the kill trip one machine. And I listed it and save it. And here are some other slides that shows that the hacking was successful, brute force mode accomplished, so it worked. And yeah, I was just trying to attain forward directory. And on this slide, I brought up the Kytrick 1 machine to set my username and password. A summary of the mitigation technique. Privilege escalation is a type of attack used to gain unauthorized access to systems within the security perimeter. There are two types of privilege escalations: vertical privilege escalation and horizontal privilege escalation. Vertical privilege escalation, attackers gain access to an account to perform actions as that user using hijacking techniques. Horizontal privilege escalation, the attacker gains access to a user with the same level of access to perform desired actions. In this lab, the Kali Linux machine was used to gain vertical privilege. An Nmap scan was completed to discover open ports and IP addresses. Root access on the Kytrick 1 system in the VirtualBox is generally how the exploit begins, with the attacker first gaining access to a low-level privilege account. A username and password were created within the system, allowing for the logging in and the analysis of the system to exploit additional weaknesses. The privilege can then be utilized to pass from one user for users acquire access to specific resources and carry out other covert actions. Summary of the mitigation technique used to prevent privilege escalation. Regularly scan the network system and application for vulnerability that could lead to the intrusion of new threats. Use a reliable vulnerability scanner to discover unpatched and unsecure operating system programs, configuration errors that the attacker could exploit. The security team should list all the accounts with their location and purposes. Reduce the number and range of privileged accounts and monitor a log of their usage. Analyze account and privileged users to mitigate risk, potential threat sources, and the intent of the attacker. Practice the least privilege principle. Observe the user behavior. This allows admins from sharing accounts and credentials. Make password use strong, unique, and distinct. Secure databases and user input with multi-factor authentication. Train users and empower them to perform their tasks securely. Employees can sometimes be the weakest link within the security chain. These attack families are just definitions of some of the attacks, like buffer overflows, the type of buffer overflows like stack-based buffer overflow and heap-based buffer overflows. We went over the privilege escalation and what they were, vertical privilege escalation and horizontal privilege escalation. Then there are 5 most important attack vectors like credential, exploitation, vulnerability and exploit, misconfiguration, social engineering. We have rootkits. These are just malware designed to give hackers access to and control over the target device. Different type of rootkits, hardware and firmware rootkits, bootloader rootkits, the kernel mode rootkits. Hackers use them not only to access the file on the computer, but also to change the functionality of the operating system. And we have Trojans. This persists in user devices, backdoor Trojan, banker Trojan, and DDoS Trojans. DDoS Trojans, the program carry out attacks that overload the network with traffic and send multiple requests, overwhelming the target web address, hence a denial of service. Backdoor attacks, we have viruses, different viruses, ransomware, boot sector virus, web scripting virus. We have return-oriented programming, part of that family of attack exploit. We have common social engineering attacks like phishing, spear phishing, phishing. And phishing is the attacks, and it's pretty much can appear to be legit, but they are not. The victim click on the link and execute the attachment. And spear phishing targets highly privileged account belonging to system administrator and executive. And phishing is just the voice, someone impersonating the authorities to gain information. And these are my references. Thank you for looking in.